Welcome to all Twitter dwellers. The gateway is now officially open. Please note, this is a safe place for all who enter. Please remember to respect each other, no talking over each other, no derogatory language, and please allow the space to flow. Enjoy your time at the gateway, and without further ado, let me introduce to you the gatekeeper, Rudolph.
Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. I am Rudolph, the reindeer. I just left Santa in the North Pole to join you guys. Thank you for having me.
And let me introduce to you the gatekeeper, NFT Guru.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again. It's another Friday. We're here to unpack Bitcoin. My name is Dre, or me, also known as NFT Guru. You can call me either. I'm here for you. I'm here with you. Thank you for joining us today.
And last but not least, the very fiery Fireburst. Hi, everyone. I think most of you will have met me in many other spaces, but primarily in coasting with DJ Satoshi. I'm pleased to assume my role as co-host of the Gateway and look forward to inviting members of the space to participate, usually by a show of hands. Just so everyone becomes familiar with our format, Rudolph and NFT Guru will be sharing with us the topic of the hour, which is what is money and unpacking Bitcoin to the masses. I will open the space to speakers to contribute, so please be ready to jump in with a show of hands for those that have requested the mic. And remember, we really want to give everyone a chance to contribute, so don't be shy. Please do speak, put your hand up. Those of you that are confident, hold on to that mic and keep contributing, okay? So buckle up, have your refreshments at the ready, and let's get ready to go.
It's brilliant. We have Sage on the stage with us. How are you, Sage? How has your week been so far?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. I remember you sent a reminder for this space, in my DM, and I was, really appreciative. So I, said I should come in and see what exactly is going on. It's actually my first. I don't know. So I'm just being expectant, for whatever it is that is going to be discussed here. Of course, use the information, and take advantage of it, of course. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Fireburn. So I don't know, G, Past King, and NFT Guru, and Rudolph. Yeah, Rudolph. You're the one that invited me. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for coming, Sage. Are you new to Bitcoin?
By this time, nobody would have said they haven't heard of Bitcoin. So if by new you mean trading with it, yes, I am. But if by new is whether I've heard of it, no, definitely not. So by trading with it or doing anything with it or even buying it, I haven't even done anything with it actually. It's just the knowledge, Bitcoin goes up, it comes down and all that. And people lose, people gain. And, yeah, there's this word I usually heard is the deep to deep. So, so that's basically what I think up until this time I I have come far with Bitcoin, or anything cryptocurrency. Even though I have a wallet, I haven't actually done anything with it. Just focus on something else. So yeah, I haven't actually.
Thank you, Sage, for joining so much. I feel that this space is exactly for you with all the topics that we have planned for today.
Thank you. I look forward to that, actually. Thank you.
All right. So let's introduce Fireburst and have her tell us what's going on around the blockchain.
Okay, so the breaking headlines from around the blockchain this week. Bitcoin is still trading just above 30K US dollars and is down 50% since its last all-time high in November 2021. Terra Luna is still dead and is trying to make a recovery by forking into a new chain without being pegged to the stable coin USD. Ethereum is sitting just above 2,000 US dollars. Cardano is at 50 cents US dollars and Solana is at $53 US dollars. Our biggest market gainers this week is Kyber Network up 60%, and our biggest market loser this week is Terra USD, down 55%. That's the breaking headlines from around the blockchain this week.
Thank you so much, Fireburst, for that wonderful breakdown. Everyone, welcome to the very first episode of The Gateway. This week, we will be discussing what makes Bitcoin so special. However, in order to do that, we must first explain the concept of money. What is money?
To understand Bitcoin, you have to understand the principles of money and what is money and what makes something money. And I would like you guys to do me the generosity. If anybody in the audience understands what money is in its most simplest form, can you help me define money?
Money, of course, for my economics, anything or finance that is generally acceptable and can be used as a means of store value and can be used for exchange of commodities. That is, of course, backed up by the government.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. According to that definition, we had a simple understanding that money is a medium of exchange that is used to purchase goods and pay for services. Money is a commodity accepted by the general consent as a medium of economic exchange. It is a medium in which price and values are expressed. As currency, it circulates anonymously from person to person and country to country, thus facilitating trade, and it is a principal measure of wealth. What really makes money, in my opinion, is actually consent. When I and Rudolph and Fireburst agrees that maybe this stone has value, and then we can use it to trade for something else, it definitely becomes money. That's why we have utility bills as representative money. We have the gift cards as representative money. And looking back at the history of money, we as humans have evolved. We started trading with stones, metals, bones, shells. Those were money before we developed. As we developed, we started adopting coins. With time, we had paper money. Over time, as we get civilized and our technology advances, we even went up to the point where we have debits and credit cards. Yeah, debits and credit cards are also representative money because they store value. So at this point, we have evolved to a point where we have moved digitally. We need more reliability electronically. And this is where Bitcoin steps in. Bitcoin is not just money like the fiat currency there. It has more value. It is intangible and indestructible. It cannot be duplicated. That is where it has more advantage. And it has the power to withstand inflation. So basically, if you understand the concept of money, you would understand the need for Bitcoin to step in at this point. The money that we are spending right now doesn't really have intrinsic value. I mean, this paper fiat money that's given to us by the government. Why? Because it is centralized. It is centralized it is centralized that it can be manipulated. It can be printed to suit economic standards depending on how the government decides. It can be tampered with. The problem of the commercial banks comes in. Decentralization also causes a lot of hassles in smooth running of transactions, because there are lots of people involved. There are lots of middlemen handling our transactions. For instance, if I am sending money to Mr. B, let's assume my bank is A, I'm sending money to Atlas. The money doesn't go straight to Atlas. It has to pass through my bank and then to the central bank and then to the other commercial bank if he's using another bank before it gets to him. And all of these accrues charges and a lot of inconveniences. And those transactions can be stopped by somebody if they wish to. Maybe they can say, this transaction is not supposed to move because this will cost this or this can cost that. For instance, you would agree with me, savings account are not even safe. There was a time where you have to give notice, 7 days notice before you can withdraw all of your money from your account. You do not have control of your money, but in Bitcoin, that is impossible. Bitcoin is stored on a secure ledger, on a public ledger where all transaction is done through computerization by just solving mathematical problems. And then every transaction is just hoping and to go straight, smooth. Nobody interferes. There's no central authority to interfere with any transaction. I think at this point, we have evolved enough. We have come to the point where we do not need people dictating how our money is being spent, how it moves, and all of that. That is where Bitcoin steps in.
I'm agreeing with you 1000% NFT guru. That's actually very interesting to me, and it's almost a bit dangerous that the government can choose to print more money and cause inflation whenever they decide, and they've successfully done that, and in turn they'll decrease the value of whatever currency you're dealing with. So the powers that be decide how much my money's worth. And if fiat currency is based off of a country's economy and development, that becomes scary, because people then decide how much the naira, Nigeria's currency, is worth. And people are forced at birth to be subjected to poverty because of the country they were born into. So it seems ridiculously unfair. It's as though you hit the jackpot depending on your country of birth due to this centralized monetary system.
Sage, please take the mic. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, NFT Guru. Thank you, Rudolph, for the introduction and some points, key takeaway points. I really, really appreciate. For me, because I was, following news and all of that, how and the behavior of people that triggers the value of Bitcoin, how it swings. And my real concern about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is the power influential people in the society have over the value of all this cryptocurrency. I mean, let's not even forget is just a tweet by Elon Musk, I think last year or two, and the Dogecoin went up. And yeah, and if he wields such a control, seeing the control he has over people's perception and people's behavior, which will then trigger the value of Bitcoin. I mean, all other innovators too may want to just take advantage, just for the Wall Street guys. So that is actually one part of my fear, But then, of course, I that was one of the concerns I have, on coming here as well, trying to understand. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to take it before Atlas. The thing is, we are actually talking about Bitcoin here. It is true, and we all agree that some other cryptocurrencies, most other cryptocurrencies, are not completely decentralized, but Bitcoin is completely decentralized. Now, Elon Musk can make a tweet and influence a meme coin, which is actually centralized. it is partially centralized because they have owners, and it can easily be triggered by the market sentiments and the trends. That's what happens to Dogecoin. But when it's Bitcoin, Bitcoin is actually money. Dogecoin is that's what we call Dogecoin. Shit coins is not like shit. Shit coins actually means they don't really have real use cases. Those coins can easily be manipulated because they have no use. They were just created for fun. If you check the white paper, you know what Doge is. It was created just for fun, for comedy. It doesn't mean it's not money. It's nothing. So those are not the currencies that we are here talking about for you to invest in. We are strictly about Bitcoin today. If you understand what Bitcoin is, you won't associate it with all these other partially centralized tokens. I hope you get to understand that Bitcoin is very different from Dogecoin. Dogecoin is not even a coin. It's a meme thing. It's a comedy skit. I can call it that. Atlas, I don't know if you have anything to contribute to that.
Yeah, thank you, NFT. Thank you, Fireburst. Thank you, Rudolph, for the invitation to the space, first of all. And yeah, definitely. I mean, a bit of a simpler way, maybe. I mean, NFT said it all right there. Nothing wrong with what he said at all. But maybe a simpler way, I'd say, of breaking this down is looking at it like this, is that anybody can influence other people, yeah? And anyone can influence basically demand, yeah? But the difference with Bitcoin is nobody can influence supply.
To add to that, you don't compare Bitcoin with these other centralized cryptocurrencies. The standard is Bitcoin. If you are looking beyond the standard, you will get lots of disappointment because Bitcoin is actually the standard. It is the only truly decentralized money that exists on earth. Money that is not controlled by anyone, is not owned by anyone. Can anybody tell me who owns Bitcoin? Nobody. But you know who owns Doge? Two people who owns Doge. So in as much as there's that ownership factor, they can disrupt the market. They can reprint more. Actually, it doesn't even have a short supply. So you would expect that there will be swing and emotions in the market. It doesn't have a supply limit. It has an endless supply limit. Dogecoin, that's what it is. It's a mimic token. So when we are talking about, that's why people need to understand the difference between Bitcoin, the difference between Ethereum and every other coin out there. So you know how to make the distinction, not generally because Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. People just target cryptocurrency directly, not knowing that there are differences. You understand? That is exactly what it is. You should know where you are investing your money or where you are transferring your fiat to a safer money, because I consider Bitcoin a safer money. When you're transferring your fiat there, when you take your fiat out of the power of the government, you take it to your own control in Bitcoin. That way, nobody can freeze your asset. Nobody has that power. Nobody can come and tell you that, oh, this money in your bank account, we've taken it. You can't use it no more. That is security. Your money is in your control. What Bitcoin offers us is total freedom and power. Total freedom, absolute freedom. Your money in your wallet is only accessible by you. It's not even online to say that somebody can tamper with it. Your wallet, you only have the private keys. It's not even attached to the blockchain in a sense. It's with you. You are the only one who has it. It's only when you execute a transaction, then you send it to interact with the chain. You are in complete control of your money, complete freedom, 100%. So that's just the difference. And that is a gift, in my opinion.
And also, sorry, as well, NFT, sorry, to add on to what you just said there as well. For the ones that are in the room that I kind of knew, to take you back a little bit to the kind of real birth of Ethereum, yeah, as a token, right? Ethereum was originally sold for what? Bitcoin, yeah, right? So Ethereum, yeah, when it first came about as a token, when they created a token, they did an ICO. That was the world's first ever ICO, right? Ethereum itself was the world's first ever ICO, and people bought Ethereum with Bitcoin, yeah. So let's just, if we're going to think about what's the difference between the two, is if you, and Vitalik has always said, even vehemently up to the other day, he still says, Ethereum was never supposed to be a currency. Yeah. Ethereum was supposed to be a token that was used to execute smart contracts and build applications on the Ethereum network. It became a currency because people began to trade Bitcoin against other crypto assets. That's how it became a currency. So these other things, are not, they are cryptocurrencies in the sense that they are encrypted tokens, right, that work on either what is supposed to be a decentralized or a centralized network. Regardless, it is a cryptographic token, right? So that's why it is called a cryptocurrency. Now, as I said, Bitcoin was the layer for all of this. There were other things. There's Dash, Litecoin, other things that were going around. But what I'm saying is, Bitcoin is what when you see the birth of the Ethereum system, when you see the birth of all these competitors to Ethereum, they're trying to be what Ethereum was never really trying to be. First of all, because they're trying to be a currency. First of all, they're not saying that we have a token that you're using on our platform. Ethereum just blew up because people started to treat it like a currency, and then, as I said, it went onto exchanges. It made its way onto exchanges, and that was part of the plan to basically put Ethereum in lots of people's hands, so you could invest in Ethereum. You could use your Bitcoin to buy Ethereum, and then you'd be able to, create some applications on what was supposed to be a decentralized network. And obviously, with Ethereum, a lot of things have gone left with decentralization, But yeah, so that's just to add on to what NFT was saying there. You have to remember that none of this token market, none of this other stuff would have been possible unless people were already using Bitcoin as a currency, as the currency of crypto land, basically.
I think that takes me back to my initial output where I said money basically is when people agree that something is money. That's what happened to Ethereum. When people agree that this stuff can be exchanged for something, it becomes money. But then I think we have come to a point where we can differentiate the difference between money and currency. And I do find it very mean when that Bitcoin is actually considered a currency, because it is money, and money is stronger than a currency. Fiat is a currency. A currency is something that you can hold with no intrinsic value. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say, but money is the whole thing. It is an asset. For instance, when you were exchanging Bitcoin for Ethereum, it's just like you are exchanging dollar for, let's say, diamonds. The diamond is actually more valuable, is the actual value, not the dollar. When you turn it back to dollar over time, it can have more value. That's what Bitcoin is. When you convert, let's say in 2001, you bought a diamond with dollars, let's say $100. It's just an example, and you hold that dollars for like 10 years, and you sell it back. You can get $100. You can amount to $500 or $1,000. You get what I'm trying to say? That is the most tangible value you can have, is actually the diamond, the precious stone. And that leaves that dollars just as a currency. It doesn't have any value stored because it is terminatable. It is easily destroyed. You try once, but with Bitcoin, it is not easily destroyed. It is not liable to destruction. It is not liable to wear and tear. And it makes it the absolute money. It has a short supply that is also divisible, and a maximum supply. And scarcity, with its scarcity, it can combat inflation, which can also improve the standard of living. The only thing that we need to do is let people know what Bitcoin is. The more adoption there is in Bitcoin, the lesser the market sentiment, where a person like Elon Musk can tweet and then it swings the market. When there are more people in control of Bitcoin, even if it is a Satoshi, a unit, then you have more power to control the market other than these people. This is why we need Bitcoin, so that Elon Musk cannot control the market. When more people have Bitcoin, you cannot swing all of them at once, because we might decide differently from him. You understand?
I think everyone's been very clear about Bitcoin, but to to break it down even more, really, Bitcoin is something that you do for long term. You're investing in something for the long term. It's not a get rich quick kind of currency. It's an opportunity to really take control of your finances and to be much more financially independent. I believe that the current system that we have with the dollars and all of that, it is melting down because when there's a problem, they just print more money, and that doesn't help the person that's trying to work, that's trying to survive in the system. With Bitcoin and Satoshis, once you invest there, you will have value and you will be able to think about things on a much deeper level. I think once you sort of cross over to Satoshis and Bitcoin, you can think about generational wealth. It's something that once you open that door and you invest in it, I believe you're investing in your future. And it's the future for all of us. I think we've got one chance, and we really have to push the merit of Bitcoin, because if we want financial independence so that the government isn't dictating to us, because that's what's happened. The governments dictate everything to us through money. And if we can find a way to push back against that and to have financial independence where we have control of our funds, then we're going to have a better life. But we have to introduce it from the street up. We have to talk about it. We have to bring it to the masses. We have to try and educate our children. Maybe godparents will open an account, with a little Satoshi wallet, so that the language of Bitcoin and how it can really help people is there, because it's not an elitist thing. It's something that should be there for everyone. And we have to make sure, because I believe in Africa, we're adapting to this whole currency much more so than the West. The West is sitting down and talking about it. But people in Africa are trying to make a move. And so we have to really push that across. If you invest in yourself and in your future, you've just got to think about it. Education is key, and then you will absolutely make it through. Rudolph, do you have any points to add?
Yes, I agree with you 100%. We've mentioned decentralized and centralized a bunch of times during this space, and I just want us to go into more detail about what those terms mean individually so that our listeners who might not be familiar with Bitcoin and the language that goes with it might have a deeper understanding of what it means.
When we say that something is centralized, it means that it belongs, it goes to a group. It is directed towards a group of people that can influence it. For instance, the government issuing fiat currency. The currency is centralized because it is susceptible. It is susceptible to influence, and it is regulated. The supply is regulated. The maintenance is regulated. They can decide when to usher in another supply into the market, into the economy, depending on the goals. There are people who just sit back and decide. Being centralized means it has a central unit, a central point where its activities is being controlled, its circulation is being controlled in terms of currency, and certain people's decision. A few people get to decide what happens to it for every other person. A few people, 3, 4 men, get to decide what happens with money that you are holding. You can hold 100,000 naira, for instance, and then somebody wakes up and say, okay, this is our economic budget for the next 4 or 5 years. And because of this, we don't have enough money. to meet these requirements internationally, let's print more naira to catch up with this. That printing of that money does not only devalue the one that you already have in your hand, it definitely devalues it because there is more supply in circulation. And you would agree with me, just like Atlas said, economically, when the supply is higher than the demand, the money devalues. That's exactly what happens. Them ushering in another supply into the economic makes what you are already earning devalued. Once it is devalued, you would notice that if a price of good you were buying biscuit 10 naira before, you get to buy 20 naira because the money in your hand is already devalued. You have to multiply your spending power to catch up with the inflation, with the amount of good. I don't know if I am clear enough. When something is centralized, it's controlled. When it is decentralized, it means nobody controls it. There is no central authority guiding it. It just moves based on supply of the laws of supply and demand. The value is based on the laws of supply and demand, and there is no single interference in between. There is no central unit, no central bank, no commercial bank. It is just decentralized on its own, and the power belongs to the holders, the consumers, the owners. Everybody collectively has it, the same power, equal power. I don't know if anybody has another way to explain that.
I think you've explained it really well. My only concern is how available is Bitcoin or Satoshis to the people of Africa? How available is it? How easy is it to access it?
It's very easily accessible. All you need to do for most people is download an app on your phone, and then you have a Bitcoin wallet, and with that you have your Bitcoin address, and you can easily send money from one address to another address. It gets a little bit more technical with if you're in Nigeria and the laws surrounding cryptocurrency, but there's still ways around it.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I'm just trying to add in NFT Guru. Just give me one moment.
While NFT Guru comes back to join us as co-hosts, Atlas touched on this, but one of the many attributes for money is that it has to be divisible. The dollar is divisible. 100 cents make up a dollar. Does Bitcoin have this? We've already established that Bitcoin is divisible by 8 decimal points. And the smallest unit is called Satoshis, for anyone wondering. So also, the reason the world economy is in such an unpredictable state is not just because of the war going on right now, but because of inflation, which we've also touched on. I want us to go further into how Bitcoin combats it.
It's simple. Scarcity. Yeah, scarcity. When something is scarce, it has more value because the demand surpasses the supply. And we all know how that the Bitcoin has a cap. It is capped at 21 million. All right. Now, since it is capped and not even all of it is yet mined, that means we've not even have 21 million. It is a process. We mine at a process that keeps the scarcity. And there is also halving in the way it is being mined that the supply is in such a way monitored or controlled to beat inflation. If you compare Bitcoin to the dollars over time, let's say since 2009 up until now, you would notice that the dollars actually is subject to inflation, is affected by inflation, while Bitcoin keeps going up in value. That scarcity gives it more value. And because of the scarcity, inflation cannot catch up with it. It actually beats inflation that way statistically. Bitcoin has risen since 2010 from definitely actually nothing to up to $59,000 all-time high, and right now are $30,000. So Given this period of time, you can see that it beats inflation hands down. Scarcity is the mechanism, the method in which Bitcoin beats inflation. And this is good news because it goes up in value at a faster pace than the prices of goods go up. In that way, it's the inflation. If you are using Bitcoin as a currency, you won't even notice any sort of inflation. It cannot upset the economy because the value of the currency in your hand goes up much faster and higher than the values of good coming up. You understand? So the way Bitcoin is being built, the way it is, just the fact that it has a cap, it has a limited supply, makes it very, very unique in the sense that that supply limit makes people compete to try to get it. If we know that we have just 10 stones on Earth and we have 20 people are fighting to get 10 stones, right? Everybody wants to get a hold of the stone because it has value. There is demand for it. Somebody else needs it. There is a competition to own it. And that's not just it. The scarcity there doesn't even make it weak in the sense that it is divisible. It is the most divisible currency humans have ever witnessed, has ever seen. It is divisible to 8 decimals. So even if you have even a fraction of Bitcoin and the price keeps going up, it is still valuable. It is still valuable. It can afford goods. It can afford properties. The more it goes high, it doesn't affect it. In that way, it beats inflation because the value moves higher than the rate prices of goods inflate. You understand? That's why it beats inflation, and it's the proper currency that can settle the situation of inflation that reduces the standard of living of the people.
Okay, my quick question here, because everything that you're saying sounds perfect, but my question, are people able to purchase goods once they have, their satoshis? Are they able to purchase things online? Is it being taken seriously now, so that people are really looking towards it as an alternative to paper money, the naira, and all of these things? Is it really being taken seriously?
Yes, actually, several countries have made Bitcoin a legal tender. I believe El Salvador is one of them. So if there's a Walmart in El Salvador, you might have the option to pay for your goods with Bitcoin. So adoption is happening, and it's happening very fast. Things are definitely getting more and more interesting. Bitcoin started off with people thinking that it was a scam, and only people that wanted to do illegal things would use it. And now countries are making this cryptocurrency a legal tender. So utility is coming. It's here already.
We know that it is actually the best money available by men or ever done by men. And it still has this problem of acceptance worldwide because I would say because of the government and rich people, they have invested so much in other resources and fiat currency, and they see Bitcoin as a threat to that investment. So it is not easy for them to adapt it. Or many people don't accept Bitcoin because the education for Bitcoin is not readily available to them. Especially in schools, they teach them fiat, they teach them savings and loans in the fiat system. They are not educated properly about cryptography and the importance of Bitcoin. That is why I am here. That is why Rodolfo is here. That's why everybody in this space is here to take education to people so that they can see the light, they can know why it is important for everybody to get to accept Bitcoin. Although it is true that many institutions and organizations have accepted Bitcoin, but it is not enough. It is supposed to be accepted like every other currency, like every other coin. There are people who won't accept Bitcoin payment because they don't understand it. Although there are people who would accept it because they know that it has value. Even those who are accepting it because it has value don't even know why they're accepting it. They're just accepting it because of the trend. Bitcoin is $30K. It went up to $50K. We need to let people know why they should accept Bitcoin as the perfect money.
Well, that's the key. To me, the key is how do we get the message out? And it's clearly by education. But what we don't want people to feel is like, oh, they've got to go and study for 6 months to learn something. People haven't got time for that. But in the gallery, we've shared, there's a course there, the Sailor Academy. It's brilliant. There's lots of courses there and it's absolutely free. The Bitcoin course teaches you about money, the existence of money, where it came from. And it's not 1,000 hours, it's like 10 hours. And even as you're reading it, it makes such sense that once you have that basic knowledge, you literally can go and set yourself free. What I'm hoping is that it becomes a standard, that there's a document printed that everyone is able to just access, because it's through education that we will really be able to highlight the longevity of Bitcoin. And that is the instrumental key. A lot of people are doing things as a fad, as a short term, but this is something that can really change our lives, and it can change the continent of Africa in such an amazing way. But we've got to onboard it. The government doesn't want us to succeed on this level because we're turning away from the government. So we really need to push this across. Cryptocurrency, I see your hand is up. Please take the mic. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity to speak here. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but
We
I
can
think
hear you.
yeah. I think what is going on is on different levels, and when I engage Nigerians, even Africans, I see a lot going on in terms of the education, aside the education of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. There's a lot going on in Africa. I think, I'm of this opinion that it is deliberate to undermine these people. Yes, because they don't understand, and all of the things around them is making them not to even see the other side, the bright side. For example, I was speaking with somebody yesterday, and he was just thanking me on even telling him about Bitcoin some 2 3 years ago. But these guys, they need first and foremost to survive. For heaven's sake, if I have the opportunity to pay people to learn about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency in Nigeria, I will do it. In my community, I do a few because people are struggling very hard to survive. So when you tell them about cryptocurrency, it doesn't really sound well. Just the few that have seen liquidity, cash flow from investing, or maybe someone close to them told them, someone had the foresight, told them that if you do this, do this, do this, this is the outcome. And they did it at some point and they got that. And they started living a different life entirely. For example, my own case is a bit more like a miracle because I didn't have anybody to come and teach me. I was just hungry for knowledge about this technology. And as a tech guy coming from the telecoms background, I felt like, oh, let me even see how this thing works. Then I tried it. It was just at the right time where the 2017 bull market just started. So I benefited as a sort because I saw my money increasing in value. So I'm looking at a way where we could fuse, because a lot of people here are trying to survive, right? So you don't tell someone that is very hungry that they should come and do some digital. In fact, when you say blockchain, it sounds like there's a problem already. So so I am looking at the best possible ways to be able to fuse these guys in, even though they are not getting it initially. But they begin to see that money, it is not the way it used to be. My 500,000 naira some years ago, because I do an OTC platform. Well, when I bought Bitcoin, exchange rate to the naira, then it was 215. Right about now, that's my money of 215,000. It's about 600 and something thousand now, because there's a benchmark of the naira to the dollar in the parallel market, which is off the roof. At this morning, it was 606. So that is one of the things that I'm using to catch these guys. That, see, your money is losing value. But again, it is someone that had some basic needs that you can be able to tell that, oh, do this like this, because your money lose value if you do it like that. So I don't know how you guys can come up with ideas where we can, because a lot of people really love how this thing works. A lot of people like how it works, how they can see that at home. In fact, crypto changed my life. I don't go anywhere. I leave my house just twice in a week. If I'm going to the groceries, if I'm going to church. I work from home. I do all my analysis and everything remotely. Even my business, I run outside the country. So we need more young people. The unemployment rate is so terrible over here. So what we just need is skill and knowledge to do this. And it's easy because we have the highest amount of young people in this part of the world. I think we should take a few of these words and see how we can implement it in this space. It will be to make a lot of sense. Thank you very much.
Oh, I do suggest that in real life, we should do a rally, like a walk, where crypto enthusiasts gather with banners, just like people do in protests, play some drums and rally and talk about BTC. I'm really serious here, and talk about the advantages. And I think the problem that we encounter most is YouTubers. I listen to them a lot. The way they present cryptocurrency generally and BTC, they present it as an investment opportunity, although it is, but that is not all it is. And that is not the basic way it should be viewed. I think we should start approaching people when we're talking about Bitcoin that it is a transition from an inferior concept of money to a better form of money, and inform them of the advantages. Because when you introduce to them that it is an investment opportunity, like you buy the dip and you sell the high, they just see it as liquidation. Buy the high, the lows, sell the dip. Most people just do that. They jump into BTC, they buy the dip, sell the high, and they spend it, convert it back to fiat, and lavish it. And then when they have another little money, fiat currency, and the market falls back, they come back to you. Please, do you have any signals? Can you tell me when to buy? And then they buy it again. When it goes up, they take profit. Zoom, they liquidate again. That does not help the system. We have to let them know that this stuff is actually a store of value, is a transition from the traditional system of money to a much more advanced and better system of money. We have to let them see it in that light before it is an investment opportunity. This is just my opinion.
I think eventually people are going to be forced to conform. All these governments, leaders are going left behind, and they're fine with getting left behind, are going to have to conform. They're going to have to follow the path of El Salvador. Most of the citizens, like, it's a 50-50 split. Some of them are okay with it, and some of them are not okay with Bitcoin being used as a legal tender because the technology is too advanced for them, which is understandable. But just like the internet, adoption is going to come, and Walmart themselves across America is installing Bitcoin ATMs. It's just like that. The word will spread. With our space, the word will spread. We'll make it so that the information is easily accessible and understandable for those that are curious.
I think you're absolutely right. We're all right in what we're saying. But I think what we have to do, we have to make it easier. So basically, Bitcoin, it's like you're creating a savings. It's a savings account. So, you know, if you're a godmother to a child and you normally would give them a savings account, maybe you say, hey, the gift of love is the gift of a Satoshi. It's the gift of Bitcoin. It's a long-term investment. We have to get the dialogue and the narrative away from scam, away from lumping all the cryptocurrencies together, and to say, look, it's an alternative way to save money and to invest in your future. The language that we use has to be clear. It has to be uniformed, and it's almost like we need to introduce a book, a guideline, so that, if you're going to go into talking about Bitcoin, this is the book. This is what you need. Read that. And it can't be many pages, because we have to build education, knowledge, and acceptance. And that's my only concern. The people that know about it now, pretty switched on, pretty bright. But what about all the other people in the villages, away from the cities, away from the bright lights? How can we bring it there? Because I'm convinced that if we are able to educate the masses, then we'll win. But we've got to bring everybody up to speed. And we can't wait. We can't wait 5 years. We've got to push it now. We've got to somehow push it onto the school curriculum so that they're learning about it. Because it's not hard, as Crypto Preacher said. It's not hard. But we've got to get the narrative. And I want to hear, how can we really do that? What you said, NFT Guru, is a great idea. I hear everyone so clearly. I feel like it's positive, but it's daunting. Because to me, the only hope that we all have, really, is Bitcoin. Because we all need freedom. We need to have freedom to make choices and to invest in ourselves. No other currency out there does it.
I agree with you 1000%. I'm just thinking about, like my people, as soon as, even the educated ones, as soon as you mention Bitcoin Ponzi scheme, everything in the book, you're being lazy. Um you don't want to get a real job or something, and this is a job. It's a full-time job, learning about Bitcoin and crypto every single day. So if we're taking it to the village, that's a whole nother thing. I feel like those that want to learn are going to find their way to, to information that they need. What we really need to be careful, and what we really need to pay attention and target, is the scammers. you know like my mom was telling me that she met somebody. She was telling them that her children are trading Bitcoin, and the guy was like, I can help you buy Bitcoin. And he was trying to tell her to download MetaMask, to buy Ethereum, and buy some unknown token, and convince her that that was Bitcoin. And she almost like fell for it. So that these are the things that we need to target for those people that are actually interested, that want to learn. We have to find a way to push it in front of them. But for the rest of the people, they'll just have to adopt, and it's going to take time, and people are going to come when they're ready. But we need to have the information ready for them.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think there's something that I really want to share. As you were talking, now something just came to my mind. One of those things, that challenges I faced when I joined this whole movement for cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. From family and friends. In fact, it was so bad that there was this lady that I was supposed to go out with, if possible. get married. So it's quite a sad experience, though. But I have to say it. And some other experiences too. So we're always chilling and stuff. And I asked her out and told her what I do. And one day she was like, "This Bitcoin crypto thing, I should go and get it. I should go and get a job. That I should go and do them because she knows that I'm a professional in my field and I'm quite good. You know, so like I should go and get a job. I should dust my CV and I'll move on. Sorry, I'm actually laughing this way. I'll move on. It was so embarrassing. That day uh we're coming from a date, and aside that I was so pained. Then I knew that what I was doing was the right thing. Because I have this philosophy that, for example, if there's a fruit, uh, the fruit has to be attractive. That is why people are stoning it for it to fall down and get it. So I just knew something in that light. Then also, one of my mom's elders that I felt that I think to this point I'm finding it difficult to even to even talk to her because uh, my mother she asked my mother what I do now since I'm no longer in the state, which is doubt because I live in Lagos. It was like I'm into blockchain, Bitcoin stuff. This was even when I started doing uh, interviews on certain TV stations like Red TV and After TV. Then I haven't started being a digital analyst for Channels TV. No, so she was like, and this person is quite educated because the husband was one time Attorney General of my state. So I was kind of wondering like, what is even going on? She said it's scam that he's involved in is scam. That all of these things are Yahoo. My mother was like, but that's not true. He knows me very well. She knows me very well. When she told me, I was pissed. So so I came to conclusion that even very educated are not educated when it comes to digital assets. So there's a serious issue. This girl I was telling you guys about. This girl, then when this issue happened, she just gained admission into Lagos Business School. She was doing a master's. So she's not she's not roadside. So it only means that there is this phobia around people getting themselves involved in anything digital in Nigeria, even for those educated. I have this mentor then. I also told him about Bitcoin. 4 years now. Currently, he's a director in one of the biggest auditing firms in the world, EY, Ernst& Young. He's head of risk, West Africa. I told him about this. He said Bitcoin is not backed by anything, so it's bullshit. I'm not surprised though, because Warren Buffett also said this. And so it is. We need to make these people understand that, irrespective of their formal education, this is something totally different. And no apologies. I don't know how people can be this. I don't know, can be this oriented that government must give a go ahead for something to be legit. For crying out loud, I was when I was invited to be among the guys to engage the Security and Exchange Commission before the ban in Nigeria that took place in 2020, so to say. Before the ban came up, I was surprised that a lot of government functionaries on the side are involved in Bitcoin in Nigeria. They are involved. They meet the bright brains, the brightest of all brains in this industry. I've not engaged anyone though, but I know when the price of Bitcoin start going high, they are going to engage me because they see me on national TV. They engage these people, tell them what to buy. A senator actually engaged one of my colleagues. I won't mention his name because it's very popular. Engaged him, and they bought Bitcoin for him, and he's holding large amount of Bitcoin. But they will come out and tell Nigerians that Bitcoin investment is crazy. Ban the transactions from the bank. It only means humans are cruel, considering the fact that Africa is struggling to survive among Committee of Nations. It's very unfair. So people should see God. This is why the people here are they're against government, most especially when they started funding the NSAS thing that happened in October last year, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, and last 2 years, the 2020 year, and they see that it was working for them when government blocked the payment processor platforms, more like the way it happened in Canada for the truckers protest. So it just sent the message that for these people to be after this, it only means that this thing is somewhere to go. So let's find a way to educate, even so to say educated people that have gone through the four walls. You can be very smart. I've met very smart people in finance, but when it comes to Bitcoin, they are so dull, and the kind of things that comes from their mouth, you'll be so shocked. Thank you very much. DJ Satoshi, I saw you there. Thank you.
And so that's not a lie. That's not a lie. In my environment, okay, my friend, his name is Slim. He's always indoors. He's always indoors. He doesn't go anywhere. His generator is always on. So we often go to his place with our PCs. If we're trading or we have an NFT drop or anything similar, we would have like 7, 8 boys there. So one day, the neighbors were tired. The neighbors even went as far as reporting that they have some fraudsters. And they came in that day and destroyed some things and looked, and there was nothing. And one other guy came the other day and knocked at the door and said, "Bros, I beg, which side do they bump?" You don't understand.
Yeah, boy.
So when you're doing Bitcoin and you have this financial freedom and you spend money freely as a human should without stress and hassle, they become confused and start attaching negative things to you, like you are fraudster and all of those stuff. So it's really a challenge in this part of the world. Yeah, I relate with what Crypto Preacher said.
I'm even thinking, is there a possibility of, like, I don't know, music really kicks, music really connects everyone. But is there any way of looking at somebody that's really, an icon that's out there that appeals to everyone and having a conversation? Because we've literally got to do something. We've got to physically come up with a way of changing the narrative. And, I'm hoping that we can brainstorm even now a way forward or just change our thinking. Is there a musical person out there? Is there anyone that's connected to somebody, not, and obviously it needs to be an honest celebrity. It needs to be somebody that's got a good track record, nobody dodgy. But, it's like, for example, Snoop Doggy Dogg, in the States, he's got a lot of respect, yeah? And he does a lot of things, not only with marijuana, but he's also into crypto. He's into Bitcoin. So I'm kind of thinking maybe we need to look at things on a different level, on a different way to upboard it. Maybe we have to contact a car dealership, and will they advertise the Bitcoin board? Or we've got to try and increase the narrative. Do you guys know what I mean? Do you hear me, Rudolph? Does anyone hear me?
Of
And
course.
yeah, we hear you, 1000 percent. It's just when I first got started with Bitcoin and crypto, I told everybody, I was like, oh my God, look at this amazing thing. I'm going to be rich. And then the reaction I got back, months later was just, and as soon as the market crashes, it's you see, and it's very frustrating, but we move, we keep pushing, and I keep sharing what I know about cryptocurrency, and I keep trying to tell them it's not a Ponzi scheme. That's why I really feel like when people are ready to learn, they will come. Otherwise, it's like you're talking to a brick wall.
But I
Yeah.
think we have to make a
Okay.
separation. And I think that's half of the problem. We keep putting Bitcoin with all the other things. And that's the problem. once the other things are failing, then Bitcoin is going to be tarnished with it. It has to be discussed in a sense of separation. That's like the university that we should all go to. And then there's these little colleges where if you want to play and have a good time, you can still do well with that. But we've got to separate it. Once we separate it clearly, then people will know, you know what? I'm going to invest long-term in Bitcoin because that's going to guarantee me something for my future. If I've got a child, I want them to go to special school, I'm going to get that savings. Maybe we've got to introduce Bitcoin like a savings plan, like, come on, if you want to save for your future, we've got to find a way to make it secure so people know that, yeah, there's all these other things out there. But once you jump on that Bitcoin bus, Satoshi is at the wheel and you'll be safe. We've
Okay.
got to separate it.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that earlier. I mentioned that the problem that we have is that the people who are already in the ecosystem do not make a distinction, especially YouTubers. They present cryptocurrency generally as an investment opportunity, and that's the problem when you give that people that hope, when you give them false hopes, that when you put 100,000 into, let's say, Luna, for instance, and you get 500,000 within 3 months, which is very, very possible because we know how outrageously altcoins shoot. And then these people that you are telling these stuff, they don't even understand the technical and fundamentals of how the crypto market in general works. So I think we need to be more open. I am always this kind of a person. You know me personally. I am very open-minded. I don't like to be too rigid. I like I do not like correct. I do not like telling people what to do. I just like expressing my views. That's how I see things, so that these people can have the liberty and freedom to be them, not because I'm trying to impose stuff on them. That's how I see things. That should be more. We should
So,
category
guys,
open-mindedly explain things the way it is. Bitcoin is absolute money. Nobody can argue that. It is what it is. But then these other currencies are up. They are there. We cannot ignore the fact that they are there. And definitely they'll be there. And they definitely offer different utility. In my opinion and my assessment, and based on my knowledge of which and my research, they are not literally money. Bitcoin is money. They are just assets. Let's say, if I'm taking, they are not really money in the real sense. Bitcoin is the actual money completely. So it all revolves around you liquidating Bitcoin to get money from other stuffs and plow it back to Bitcoin. That's what it is for me. And that is what we should let people know, that these things are actually very they can be very profitable. Of course, gambling is very profitable if you hit the jackpot, and they are highly, highly volatile and very insecure. Bitcoin is where the security is. If you make this money from here, you can pull it back if you really want to make it there, because you can stop people doing what they want to do. Of course, everybody knows that smoking cigarette is bad, but they still smoke. People know that gambling is bad, but they still gamble. I am not the type to tell you what to do with your finances. I'm not the type to tell you not to gamble, even though it is bad. I am only here to tell you that gambling is bad. Not don't do gambling. If you choose not to, I'll just provide you with the necessary knowledge to know your left from your right. Then you pick what to do. If you are smart enough, you go out there, you do the right thing, you bring your money back to Bitcoin where you are more safe and secure. After all, the goal is to have money. My goal is to have money, and that money to me is nothing but Bitcoin. I'm only against saying that a person should not do what they want with their finances. It seems like you're boxing somebody, not giving them the freedom they deserve as humans.
And on top of that as well, sorry guys, I'm just jumping in and out in between meetings as well. But on top of that, NFT, you know, like I think a lot of people when they come into this space, they think that Bitcoin traders, like top Bitcoin traders, are trading like just fiat all day long, which I'm not saying that they don't, but the top Bitcoin traders are trading for more Bitcoin. That is it.
Yeah, that's the goal.
That really is the goal across the board. Crypto preacher, before you speak, Kaz King just sent me a message. Do you want to talk about it, Kaz King? Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I don't really have much to say on it. I just wanted to share with the group, with the space, sorry, because when I was scrolling my timeline, I saw it. I'm like, this is what we are talking about, actually, the education of Bitcoin, and I just feel this sense to start something like this in here in Nigeria, you know, because if it weren't for this space, to be honest, this space today, right now, I still think Bitcoin, or I was thinking Bitcoin as an investment scheme rather than the absolute money it is, right? So I'm just glad for the education, and I just wanted, to show the space that this is actually going on. Yeah.
Just think about it like this: you were never taught economics in school, and right about now, everyone's getting a free economics lesson in a new economy before it even gets here. Yeah. So yeah.
Hey, crypto preacher, can I cut you?
All right, boss.
Good morning. Good morning. I love waking
Good
up
morning.
to meeting amazing people talking about Bitcoin. So it's nice to hear you guys. It's been a while. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good,
How
Great.
are
good, good.
you?
Good, bro.
Thank God I'm well. Thank God I'm well, and I'm even better now because I see you guys have the Bitcoin bug.
Absolutely. We're focused on it and we know it's the way forward. So without a doubt, without a doubt.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great. But yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you guys have been saying. I've been listening in the background while I'm working, and I have to go in a couple minutes, but I'm gonna try to keep listening and enjoying the conversation you guys are having. And I think everything you guys are saying is absolutely right. It's nice to see that you guys are passionate about trying to help others understand Bitcoin and the whole cryptoverse from your perspective, because your perspective is correct. Everything is a gamble except for Bitcoin. And, that's how people need to understand it when they come in, because unfortunately they get pulled in by different community managers, different marketers, different influencers, whatever you want to call them. And they're literally paid by these other tokens and projects and NFT projects to market to the masses, because they're looking for liquidity and the masses have liquidity. So it's a consumeristic type of perspective. So it's extremely important that, sorry, I just got a text from my colleague. It's extremely important that they understand that they are being that liquidity. So when they invest into anything other than Bitcoin, they're investing in someone else. They're investing in someone else's project, and they're gambling with their money, and they might never recover that money. It's a very illiquid market. So you have to be very careful. You have to be very smart. If you're going to gamble and become a trader, you have to learn how to become a trader, because that's what you're doing, is you're becoming a trader. And people study and go to college, and people work in massive like companies, like JP Morgan and Fidelity and TIAA and a lot of other companies, right, that literally like are the market makers, and they're looking for the retail investors. So it's helping these markets find liquidity by bringing new people in who have $5, $10 to their name, and who think they're going to make that $5, $10 into $100. But unfortunately, if you're not educated correctly in trading, you're going to lose that $5, $10. Whereas when you put that $5, $10 into Bitcoin and invest in yourself and keep making $5, $10 some other way in your real life, then you're investing in yourself. So that's the best way to protect yourself. So that's what people need to understand, is that when they're buying Bitcoin, what they're doing is they're converting their fiat currency into a sound hard money system, which then will always remain there, no matter if the price goes up and down. People think that Bitcoin is volatile. Bitcoin is not volatile. Bitcoin is 1 Bitcoin out of 21 million Bitcoins. Bitcoin is 1 Satoshi out of 21 quadrillion Satoshis, or however many Satoshis it is. So people need to understand that, because that's why they get duped and they get scammed and they get swindled by these influencers whose job it is to bring new money in. And it's easy to sell an NFT for 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100. It's a lot harder to sell a philosophy, a new hard money system. So, we all have a hard job ahead of us, which is trying to educate people about Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, like you guys have said it, like, and I like NFT's approach, right? Like you have to let people choose. So he's right, like it's up to the person to understand that. But all we can do is just to guide them and make sure that they're protected by good guidance, because there's more people guiding them in the wrong direction. And you guys see that. And I'm glad that you guys see that now, because a lot of people don't want to admit that in the space. They think that, it's wrong to say that Bitcoin is money and that everything else is just something else. But that's the truth of it. And we see that with what happened the past couple of weeks, where people lost all their money. And this is going to continue to happen. And, once one thing goes down, everything else is getting a bad rep too. So that's why it's important that we keep Bitcoin and crypto separate, because Bitcoin is money. It's a cryptocurrency. It's the original cryptocurrency. It's a cryptocurrency that people, we don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is, but these people, these cypherpunks, if you study the history, they were working on this for many, many years. There were other projects. There was Hashcash, Zcash. There was so many other projects that were trying to become the digital money. And Bitcoin is the only one that has been successful for the past 13 years, So they didn't know it was going to become big. There were tons of people that were spending 10,000 Bitcoin to buy pizza, to buy little things. They were spending 1,000, 2,000 Bitcoin. Today these people regret it, right? But they didn't know. They don't regret it because they're smart and they understand that they had to spend that Bitcoin to proof of concept, to have to show to the world that it could be used as a medium of exchange. So everything happens for a reason. I appreciate you guys all being so passionate. It's very nice to see that, you guys really care, because especially in other countries besides, the US and Canada and a lot of other countries, it's important that people understand that they have a way out, because there's so many people that are unbanked in Nigeria, in other countries, and they just need this more than ever. They don't need the cryptocurrencies. They don't need all these NFTs and all that, because all that is consumerism. All that is the same problem with fiat. What they need is they need a hard money system, because then they'll finally have that system to allow them to focus on their daily lives and to know that when they earn a little bit of Satoshis, that's never going to get debased. There's no government that's going to come and steal that from them if they custody it themselves. So these are extremely helpful and important concepts that you guys are going to be teaching to the people. And it's nice to see that they're going to have good teachers. So keep it up, guys. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. I really appreciate. But I would like to chip something in a bit with regards to NFTs. I think people donate NFTs, and I do think we would do a separate space for that, and why people should understand the concept of NFTs. It is just like Bitcoin. People are misinformed about what NFTs are.
You're right. NFTs do have, some utility, and they will be used. Like a good use case for NFTs is if you want to buy a ticket, right, to a concert. You want to buy that as an NFT, and then you have that as an NFT on your phone. Great. But it's two separate things, right? We're talking about two separate things. So people need to understand that, they shouldn't be buying NFTs thinking it's going to be a savings for them. It's just a consumeristic thing. Like you buy an NFT like you buy shoes. You buy an NFT like you buy digital art, but like if most people understood that, like they're spending money on digital assets, like they're going to realize that that's a waste of their money, because most people don't have that money to spend on digital things. They're not trying to live in the metaverse. They're trying to go do their daily job, whatever it is, like that's the other danger with this, right? Is that people are getting sucked into the metaverse. They're getting stuck and glued to their computers. there's a beautiful world out there that we all are missing. And just sitting in front of our phones, even on Twitter Spaces or wherever, right? Like, that's taking time out of our lives that we could be spending exploring the world. Like, it's a beautiful place that we could be building something out there. We could be building real live communities, right? But like, it's important to make that distinction, like, and wonder, why is it that we're spending so much time online? Like, why do they want us glued in the metaverse? Because this is how they can control us, because when we're out and about, they can't control us as well. We're doing things. But when we're stuck and glued inside, they know exactly where we are. They know exactly what we're saying. They know exactly what we're thinking. They know exactly what we're transacting with. So you got to think about that too. Whereas, Bitcoin is just money, so it's a completely different world. So just be careful, right? Like, make sure that you're checking your mental health, make sure that you're not spending too much online time. Like, it's very important, because otherwise you're going to just become a zombie and live on the metaverse. And like, it's a very dangerous thing. So, but yeah, totally,
Okay.
man. There's definitely a use case for it.
Okay, driving cars are dangerous. Boarding a plane is dangerous. We have a different session for NFTs, and I do believe today we are all about unpacking Bitcoin. And when the time comes for NFTs, I think we can hold the argument. But for now, we are derailing from the subject, which is Bitcoin as money. You get, Rodolfo, what's next?
Yes, we have Dr. Leo with us. Dr. Leo Easy, would you like to say something? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a speaker. We appreciate you and we appreciate your value time.
Okay, good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, depending on where you are. I greet you, DJ Satoshi, my brother, crypto preacher. How you day? Fireball and every other person here. It's really interesting being here. The fact is that for the past 6 years that I've been in Bitcoin education, I've passed through a lot of phases. And I can tell you one thing. I think the issue here is actually with Nigerian Bitcoiners or crypto guys. We are getting it absolutely wrong. I can tell you that since 2006, we have lots of people who come in, get into Bitcoin, create, a good community. People know them. We call them OGs, and then they swerve, they move into so-called cryptos, NFT, shitcoins, and people know them. People love them. People take them as their words are very, very important in the community. So they take a lot of young people, give them a lot of shitcoin education, and then knowing fully well that things are very hard in Africa. We know that very well. Things are very, very difficult. So what people want to hear is that, I want to make money. I just want to, have a daily living, so to say. And where do they get this information from? They get it from the OGs. These were Bitcoiners before. Most of the Bitcoiners I knew in 2006, they are all, crypto shitcoiners, almost all of them. And that does not help adoption. And it will never help adoption. Okay, coming to how do we bring in young people? I have been talking about Bitcoin anywhere I go to, and I have my own way of, passing this message across. I have colleagues. I belong to associations in my workplace. In fact, people have mentored on Bitcoin for the past 5 years. I ask one particular question. I don't do it like mass adoption. Are you working? Yes, you are. I'm working. You earn an income? Yes. You do business? Yes. Do you earn an income? Yes. Save this, make your savings in Bitcoin. And I've gotten a lot of them with this method. Doctors, nurses, businessmen. And then when you come to why is it that you think that a professor, like what crypto preacher was saying, that a professor is finding it difficult, to get what is Bitcoin. It's not possible because the education he received is different. Bitcoin is more of is an Austrian economic concept. You don't teach that in school. An economics professor won't get that. So we in as much as I believe we need to re-strategize, I don't think that OG Bitcoiners in Nigerians are doing well. We are not. We are leading a lot of young people astray out of greed. And then we probably, money itself is not not a human design. Money is a human action. Monetary evolution is human action. So you can't stop people from, experimenting and this and that. But we all know that as Bitcoiners, we need to separate. I don't think anybody in Nigeria needs an NFT for you to go for to buy a ticket or something. That is not what we need in Africa. What we need is sound money. As simple as that.
I
We don't need.
agree.
Yes.
No,
What
I
Africa needs.
absolutely agree.
What Africa needs is sound money. We don't need any other thing. We are struggling.
Well, I am an
We don't.
African and I need an NFT,
Yeah.
and nobody can
So
decide
the
for all
very
Africans
the,
what all Africans need. But
okay.
basically, this space was based mainly for Bitcoin, and all of those
I
arguments we would have it on an NFT space.
I get your point. I get your point. But I'm just telling you, as an African who has lived here all my life, I am telling you what Africans need. An average educated African who is lucky to get what Bitcoin is will not ask you what is Bitcoin when you talk to him. What he will not ask you why. He will ask you how. How do I get it? Because we know the why. The why is
Yeah.
obvious to us.
Do you think do you
And this
think
is
that
where the problem is. This is where conflict arises. When I like Bitcoin a lot. I know Bitcoin is the absolute money, but I need more than money. I don't need a toy to play with. I know I need a game. I need an art to behold, and I so love music. My life is not revolved about around money. People need to understand the concept of stars before they criticize it. Before I criticize anything,
Okay.
I
Okay.
know what it
I get
is
your I get your I
before I
get
talk
I
about
get
it.
your I get your point. I get your point. Money, my life too does not revolve around money. But money itself is civilization. And once you are
Um,
able to get money right, once you're able to
so
get
is
money right,
so is gaming.
you
Gaming is civilization. You
well,
derive
so
pleasure and
so hold on a
satisfaction
second.
when
It's
you're
actually
gaming.
interesting you brought this up, right? Because I actually want to pose a quick question, okay? Because I would disagree with what you guys are saying real quick. Because money is at the center of every human action. The reason that is because money translates to food and shelter and security and health and well-being. So we have to understand that deeply, psychologically, subconsciously. Everything we do, like right now I'm working. The only reason I'm doing this job, even though I don't enjoy it, is because I need to pay my bills. I need to support my wife, my daughter. I need to take care of them. And the only other way I could do this is by going and working a field and growing my own food and building my own house. But I don't do that. I rent a house. I pay for my food at the grocery store. I pay for my gas because the gas company brings it to the gas station. I pay for my car and my insurance. Everything subconsciously revolves around money. NFTs and gaming, they revolve around money because most of these people that are getting into these games, and I was one of them, I was looking for play to earn games specifically so that I could make a living while playing to earn. So to say that you're doing it just for fun is not necessarily true. So you have to look deep down subconsciously and understand why is it that you're doing these things, because this is what they're doing on purpose. Okay, that's why I called it consumerism, because what they're doing is they're making these games on purpose to lure people in to say, oh yeah, we're gonna help you make money by you playing and earning, and that's great in theory, right? But it's unhealthy, because then what it does is it makes you sit at the computer and play the game. It takes the fun out of the game. So I'm all for you being able to earn on a game, but you have to be careful, because what that does is it creates an addictive type of action, you know? As is, we already have enough addictive types of actions around our daily lives, you know? So now they're adding on another layer, and that's fine. Again, I'm all for free market. If you're a believer in Bitcoin, which Dr. Leo is, and Atlas and everyone here, you know, we're all free market people, because that's what Bitcoin is. It's an option. It's not something you can force on anyone. And it's like Dr. Leo said, Africans especially, they understand it. They don't need the why, because they already feel the pain of money.
Please don't mute. I beg you
No,
guys,
no,
don't
it's
mute
okay.
anybody on stage.
It was just
I
an
like people
accident.
sharing their opinion. The point is, I said it earlier. This is where the problem is: telling when other people try to dictate how other people live their lives. That there is a problem. I do not accept it in any way. I do not associate myself with it in any way, because I do believe people should be free. I am a big advocate of freedom.
Can I please just introduce Crypto Preacher, because he's had his hand up for ages? Please, please.
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you,
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Amazing conversation, but the truth is, it's good we are called to order at this point. So what I want to say in essence is, here in Nigeria, there are different people came into this industry through different avenues. So a large amount of those that came in, a large amount of people came in, so to say, OGs now, right? Came in around 2015, 2016, which I think I fall into, you know. So these guys, a high amount of them, came in with the idea of a Ponzi scheme, because they were actually exposed to crypto Bitcoin via a Ponzi scheme, so to say, in Nigeria called MMM. So I want to bring you guys up to speed on that. So they got in and they find out that they realized that this thing is becoming more valuable, right? And started building communities, educating them, getting knowledge about Bitcoin. But the truth is that the fact that they have it in their mind, it is a mind thing that Bitcoin is just what a lot of them up to this point will get Bitcoin and flip it for the Naira, even when they know that the Naira is almost dead. You know, so, and with all of this, they try to, which the community they build, obviously you're going to educate your community on what runs on your head. You know, so they built all of these young people to think in that direction. And most times they make them feel like, oh, you can buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, and make money. Maybe one or two times they see the reality. I'm a Bitcoin lover. I love Bitcoin. But the truth is, some people need to be left alone to fail as part of their experience. In this industry, there are some things you need your own failure as part of your experience. So most times, where people try to, in their own way, try to prevent people unnecessarily, when you are not there, they will still go and make such a mistake and say, "Oh, I was told to invest in Bitcoin." Someone told me a certain day that they invested in. No, the person said, "I went to visit someone," and the person said, their brother-in-law invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and he lost all the money. And I said, it is not true. She was arguing. I said, okay, put a call to the person. Then he called the person. The person told me that they invested in a scheme. Not even, because I know that you buying Bitcoin and holding in either your cold wallet, or it's almost impossible for you to come and say you lost everything. You know, if not for maybe hack or maybe some other mistakes here and there. You know, so I realized that these people have been sold the idea that Bitcoin is a short-term investment, which is very dangerous. And these OGs, so to say, also do this. I don't run on that model because we cannot be pushing adoption. And when you tell these people that for you to allow them into a community, they have to pay a certain amount of money, which is crazy. First and foremost, that is against the concept of adoption. You tell them that you can make a living with this, you can, but you tell them again that for them to join a community, they have to pay certain amount, huge amounts sometimes. Some then when they go, some are taught trading in some very terrible way that they see, even when they see opportunities, they just miss it. So in all of this put together, those of us that have come to this industry with genuine interest to see people succeed with that model of Dr. Leo, where you could buy a fraction. It has worked for me. I tried it. Nobody told me. But I tried it on my own some years back. And in 3 years, I was saving $30 every week. And I made a lot of money from that in my own way. Though I was having phobia at some point with dollars when I came in 2016 because I was feeling dollars was for the very rich people. I'm just giving you guys a background of what is going on ground. So we need a reorientation. And platforms like this is very, very important. But the truth is, because of what runs in the brain of these people, they will not come to platforms like this because they think that you will not tell them the next coin that we pump 100%, 50%. So we have a serious situation at hand, which I think by talking this way, we need to see because I was telling some of the guys in my community, I said, this is what you're trading every day. You made $100 today. Tomorrow you lose $200. Next tomorrow you make $300. The other day you lost $5,000. You are just moving in circles. You don't sleep well at night. You're wasting your life. Why not just buy Bitcoin? You can't beat that. You can't beat that consistency. Thank you very much.
I just want to
Okay.
share like my own testimony because when I first started, it was NFTs that really got me. And I was buying NFTs like a mad person. And I would enter these spaces and people would say, buy what you like, think about the art, buy what you like. And then fast forward to a few months later, I had to like analyze myself and be honest with myself and was like, this is not working out. I need to change the narrative. I need to do something different. When you're a newbie and you enter this space and all you hear is NFTs, 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 and buy what you like. I'm here to make money. And people like it's very funny, it's very dangerous. So I appreciate the honesty and you guys coming up and speaking, but I still love my NFTs. I'm not saying that I'm anti NFTs, but it is very, very dangerous out there.
Okay, I still have the problem that I still have the problem because it's like Bitcoin is separate. We have to keep it separate. And as long as we keep it separate, then the story and the education will not become diluted. As soon as we lump it together with anything, it becomes an issue. Which is why with education, and if we can get the schools to take it on in the curriculum, money, Bitcoin, it becomes the standard so that you can have a 5,000 NFTs. It won't matter because the Bitcoin will be the standard. Now, unfortunately, Rudolph, if you check our time, could you please tell us a little bit about the giveaway? I know we've got a lot of hands up, but I think we've got to say that this is going to definitely be a part 2. So, Rudolph, please interject.
Okay, so we are doing a giveaway, 10,000 Naira giveaway in Satoshis. So the winner will need to have a Bitcoin address for us to send it to. We have a Discord if you need help with that. We'll be announcing the winner by the end of the day. We do have a few more speakers, so you guys could quickly share what you have to say, and then Firebreast will take over.
We have 2 hands up. Is it Cedar or is it Blocksgate? Please talk to me. Who's first?
Hi, I'm Sida. So, I'm just going to give like a brief talk on this matter. So, when I heard about the whole blockchain thing, I just didn't want to go into any of them, especially Bitcoin, because everything I had was Ponzi scheme. And the way I was brought up, I was made to know that all these online ways of making money are totally bad. So I just wanted not to actually associate myself with any of these things, even though I was a developer, a front end, a web developer. So recently I got into like learning to develop blockchain, like learning to develop cryptocurrencies, tokens, and stuff like that. So I started noticing some things. I found out that what people perceive nowadays as the way of making money is buying all the shit coins, which are like tokens on Ethereum, on the Ethereum blockchain, and wait for it to rise, for the value to rise. Then they will swap, or they either change it to fiat and use the money and start spending it anyhow. So this is what I noticed, because I have friends that are these people that take themselves as Bitcoin gurus and take students under their wings and be like teaching them how to invest in these things. So what I noticed is that what people perceive Bitcoin as is that Bitcoin is another one of the Ethereum tokens, and you just have to go in and buy it, wait for it to rise. When it rises, you change it back to your fiat and use your money anyhow. But with the recent research I've been going about, because I'm trying to know more about this cryptocurrency, not only Bitcoin, not only the DeFi part, but also the other parts like the decentralized applications and stuff like that. So what I noticed is Bitcoin as a blockchain, as a cryptocurrency, is actually a sort of insurance for people that have a very good financial mindset. So as we grow, we notice that we work a lot so that we'll have a very good stable lifestyle during our retirement. And the best thing for us is to get this money that we're working for, slowly save them up as bitcoins, so that in the future we can also use this money and make sure that we have something to work with as we grow old. I don't know if I'm putting it right, but the thing is, it's kind of a sort of insurance. If we look at it in a way, it's like a better insurance than the banks give. That you save money in banks, and you it goes anyway it goes in the banks. So I find that Bitcoin is a sort of insurance. All this, if you check my Twitter, you see I've always been against the whole tokens things, because I just don't see why you create like 10,000, like anybody just comes up as a developer will just create tokens and people will start buying it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like it, it just destroys the whole thing and it doesn't make sense. So as I just continue looking into the
Okay,
crypto
I'm very
space, I
sorry,
noticed that
Cedar.
it
I'm
doesn't.
very sorry, Cedar. We are literally running out of time. The
Yeah, yeah.
last person can actually take the microphone for 60 seconds is Blocksgate. Please take the mic.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. So, a quick one. I am Orus Michael, the founder of Blossgate. So, we provide a blockchain education to sensitize people and orientate people what blockchain, Bitcoin, and other projects are all about. So, a quick one, like what I tell people, we see the Bitcoin and the blockchain industry from a different perspective. So some people see it as a way of making fast money, which I say it is not bad. Some people see it as a hedge against inflation. Some people see it as a store of value, just like where they save their pension. So we see it from different perspective. I love the blockchain technology and I love what Bitcoin is actually doing, but whichever way you are seeing it from, I feel it is not bad. What is bad is when you don't have the right education. Like some people who see it as a way of making money, I tell them if you want to make quick money, or if you want to trade different tokens to make money, then look at it from the perspective of stock. So when you approach it from the perspective of stock, you can make money and you can make a living out of it. And if you see it as a way of store of value, where you store your money and you look at, okay, we just have 21 million Bitcoin, and with time after adoption, it will grow to a massive number and you make good money from it, then you can follow that. So whichever way, majority, I would say, aside preaching adoption and wanting people to adopt Bitcoin and as a way of a means of payment and solving problem, we shouldn't take the fact away that majority are in the industry to make money, either to as a store of value. It all boils down to making money. So the thing is, how do you want to make the money? Then that is where the education comes in, because majority are actually going into it with the mindset of, okay, I want a coin that will do 500 to the next 2 minutes. My time was short. All right, thank you very
I am
much.
so sorry. Blocksgate, I'm absolutely following you. I'm following Cedar. Come back next week. You will have the mic immediately. I would absolutely like to thank everybody that's been here. We've had some fantastic contributors. Crypto Preacher, DJ Satoshi, Dr. Leo, Kaz King, NFT, Rudolph, you guys are the best. Atlas, you've been here for so long. Thank you so much. Rudolph, do you want the last words? Because the gate is going to close. The voice is coming.
Thank you everybody. NFT, do you have any last words?
I want to appreciate you for showing up. I hope to see you next week, Friday, the same time, 12 p.m. UTC. Show up and we share crypto knowledge. You have an opinion. Everybody is welcome here.
Thank you, everyone. Please, we will absolutely want you to know that this time is a regular slot. I will try to do personal invitations. Oh no, my time is up. Thank you to all Twitter dwellers. Your presence has been most thoughtful and provoking. Alas, this is a safe place. No more, as the gateway is closing in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.